Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer. We have a wonderful guest in studio. It's Aruna Davis. She's the founder and director of Learn to Write Now. Tell me a little bit about your story. Tell me about this.
Hi, Liz.
Hi.
Learn to Write Now. It's actually our 10th year. We started the writing program about 10 years ago in the comfort of our basement. That's how I like to call it. We started this as I found the need for writing enrichment in my child's life, in my son's life. He was an avid reader, right? And I see that, I was able to see that among his friends too. So they were constantly talking about books and all that. But when it came to writing, it was always this blank page and blank stare, that kind of a look, you know. They were not able to bring their thoughts. He was able to speak out his thoughts, but he was not able to bring it on the paper. So one summer, 2008, I said, okay, I'm going to gather him and his friends, and we just did a writer's workshop, because I've always been into writing. I'm an engineer, I'm a business graduate, but what I would like to call myself as mostly is like I'm a writer, or I'm a writer in training, so to speak. So I said, okay, I will put those skills into play and do a little, prop-based writing. So that's really how it got started for those few months in summer, and I put that aside. Later, when my friends, they realized, hey, this is really good, what you did with our kids, it's fantastic, and they seem to be, getting the process of writing. Could you do this again? I said, okay, let's think about it next summer. So we just kept doing this like a few summers, but then parents who got to know, it's really, it spread like wildfire, I would say, word of mouth. So parents and friends who got to know, they started coming to us, coming to me, so to speak, and telling, hey, my student is a senior in college. I mean, in high school, applying to college. So could you help with the college admission essays? I kind of, more like a pro bono sort of a thing. I said, okay, I'll be happy to help out. But then we got into a structured way of doing this as Learn to Write Now, and that's basically the story of Learn to Write Now.
That's wonderful. Now, with Learn to Write Now, you have kind of two tracks, more your creative writing track and then more your Learn to Write track. Am I right? So talk to me a little bit about how it's structured.
The two tracks are creative and academic. Although we started as a creative enrichment, solely a creative writing enrichment center, I think our academic enrichment has become so much bigger. So much so now, although it was a writing enrichment, now we are also a reader's workshop, we have a test prep workshop, and then we do public speaking and debate. So because we anchor everything that we do in writing, we even tell our public speaking and debate students, unless you become the president of the country or a president of an organization, nobody is going to write your speech. Okay, you will not have a speech writer. You still have to write your own speech. So we anchor everything in that writing. So that's why we call ourselves Learn to Write Now. And and we believe that English language enrichment, it kind of encompasses all this: the reader, the writer, the best speaker, and the test taker. So we cater to all those fields of study. So
I couldn't agree with you more. That we all need to have command of the written language and to be able to read. Those are fundamental things that we need to be able to do. So tell me a little bit about how it works. So I have a child who is struggling, perhaps. How would a workshop work for that?
Right, that's a good question. So we have different kinds of parents with different kinds. I mean, even within the same family, multiple sets of students, their own children who are students who have various needs. So a mom who comes to us, she would say, my older one, she loves writing, okay, but there is not enough enrichment that I'm able to, help her with either at home or at the school level. What can you do? So then it becomes a challenging enrichment program, right? So if she's at a certain grade level, we understand what she or she cannot do, and kind of challenge her from there and make it better. But she would say, her brother, of course, he doesn't like to read, he doesn't like to write, or he just cannot write, he wouldn't do anything. Can you help? We said, of course we can help, So then it becomes a part remedial program too. So the student is not able to perform well at their grade level. So we maybe start the student at slightly, a lower grade level, without them knowing, because you don't have to tell them, hey, you're a fourth grader, but we have to start work at the second grade level. But we give them those enough work so that they become confident at their grade level pretty soon.
That's the key word there, especially with your remedials. You're giving them confidence.
Correct.
And that's gonna improve their learning right now. How does a parent get connected? Do you run classes all year round? How long do they run?
Right. So although we initially started as a summer-only program, now we are an all-year-round program, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
The community has, realized the need. I mean, although among reading, writing, and arithmetic, they say writing is the forgotten art, I think at least in Naperville, they realized writing is an important skill. So because the community has come, again and again asking for this kind of an enrichment. So now it's an all-year-round program, but we only enroll the students at 3 points in the year, one in January. So currently the winter-spring registration is going on.
Okay.
And then we have one in summer, starting in June, and then another one starting in fall as the school begins.
You had mentioned off camera that one of the things you do in your workshop, so take me through that workshop of you give them assignments, and there are many assignments, and then more importantly, I want you to tell me about the feedback.
Okay, wonderful. The student comes to our workshop for once a week. It could be a 75-minute or a 90-minute or a 2-hour class, right? Depending on the kind of workshop. Majority of the workshops are 75 minutes long, the writers, readers. So once they come into the workshop, these are small group workshops. It could be a group of 6 students going all the way up to 12 students. And depending on the number of students, the number of teachers, or also we maintain a good student-teacher ratio. These are instructor-led classes, so that the students come and learn something called as a mini lesson from a packet of instruction, right? So there's a lesson for the day, and then they learn the lesson, get all their questions clarified, and there is an in-class discussion always, because English language, that's how you learn, through discussion. So we have Socratic seminars, we have question and answer sessions, all those kind of things. So once that is done, there is some classwork that is done, because you want to have a supervisor or a coach looking at, okay, this is how you're writing. This sentence could be better if you just added one more adjective in this place, and they take that feedback and they go home to finish this mini lesson at home, and they bring it back the following week. And every work that is brought in, we actually provide feedback either on paper or whatever that is submitted via, say, Google Docs. We provide feedback. There's a ton of feedback. And so every parent who has done the program with us, they've said, we have never, ever received so much feedback for our students, for their work. And that feedback, we think, is the cornerstone of success of Learn to Write Now.
So what advice would you give to parents to help their student become, a better writer, a better reader?
Okay, great question. As a parent, I always like to model, or I would like to practice before I preach. So if I can be the model for my child, right? If I'm the good reader, if I'm the good writer, then immediately my child will follow suit. Right, that is there. So if there is an opportunity to give a birthday gift for your child, besides other things that they have on their birthday list of gifts, always get a book, and if it's possible, buy yourself a similar book or the same book, and you can be your child's book buddy, right? And you can both have, and then while you drop your child off for a soccer session, or you have a dinner table conversation, that book then becomes a bonding mechanism, and that's a fantastic thing. Similarly, we do something called as a free writing in the workshop. This is just giving a simple, plain journal to your child, and then telling, okay, whatever is just freely floating in your head, capture that on paper. It could be a simple thing, a one sentence, that's still good enough. We can build on that sentence. So that's how we go about it. Those are 2 simple things, but it can be put into action right away, I would say.
I think that's wonderful advice, and I think what you're doing and what you're offering is super and so needed in today's digital world. So thank you so much. Thanks for stopping by and telling me all about it. I appreciate it.
Thanks for this opportunity.
You're welcome. And we're going to be right back with more Business Connections. Stay tuned.